On crowded subway platforms, a young man jumped off the platform to save people, seeing the subway approaching the station, but he couldn't climb up. Zwanai quickly extended a helping hand upon seeing this. However, his strength is insignificant. The result was counterproductive. I was dragged down. What makes the matter worse is that, at this moment, the subway is also heading towards them. Next second possible, when the two of them opened their eyes again, they found themselves in a completely unfamiliar room. What makes them even more incredible is that, they were unharmed, as if the crisis of life and death just now was just a dream. And at this point, Zwanai also realized that, the young man he just risked his life to save, unexpectedly, it was his years of hair growth. But at this moment, a eerie atmosphere enveloped the entire room. Zwanai and Kato immediately began to carefully inspect the surroundings. They were surprised to find that all doors and windows are securely locked, except for a few strangers inside the house. There is also a terrifying huge black ball placed in the center. After a conversation, they learned a terrifying fact. Everyone miraculously appeared in this room after an unexpected death. Just as they were discussing, the black ball suddenly emitted several dazzling rays of light. Everyone was stunned as a hand suddenly appeared in the air, and then it's like 3D printing. A girl who is completely naked, forming such a bizarre scene in front of everyone, make them unbelievable. Kato immediately took off his coat. A gentleman draped around the girl's body, stopped the suit man, who was trying to plot against the girl. Just before everyone could figure out the situation, black ball starts again, accompanied by a strange singing sound. A few lines of words appeared on the black ball. He announced to everyone that they're already dead. Now their lives belong to the black ball. Then black ball released a mission. Request these people to eliminate an extraterrestrial creature called the Onion Man. Then the black ball popped out several brackets. There are various unique weapons placed on it. There is also a row of black boxes behind it. Xuan has also opened it. A box with his own name engraved on it. Inside is a set of black clothes. This outfit looks a bit strange. But Ziore doesn't have suitable clothes to wear. You can only choose to wear it. Just then, Xuan also noticed that the quiet boy on the side had already dressed in black. He hasn't had time to inquire about everyone's bodies yet. It started to gradually disappear. Then it was transported to a street. Everyone looked puzzled, ready to go home and talk about this matter. However, but the mysterious boy stopped them. He calls himself Zixia. He explained that everyone didn't really die, but was hypnotized. All of this is just a TV show. As long as the task is completed, they can receive a prize of up to $100,000 per meter. At this moment, Zwanai keenly noticed the Onion Star people are observing them not far away. Naishijo continued to explain, if someone kills the Onion Star man first, that person will be able to receive this 100,000 yuan prize alone. The man in the suit rushed out without hesitation when he saw this, and the others followed closely behind. They quickly forced the hurried people into a warehouse. Suit men tightened the trigger, but it didn't work. When everyone was wondering, in just a few seconds, the body of the Onion Star man suddenly exploded. Kato is trying to stop this bloody killing. One more step later, just then, a tall figure suddenly appeared behind them. He quickly caught the man in the suit. The man in the suit struggled desperately, dropped someone else's wig. So this person is the father of the little orangutan? That is the true goal that Black Ball demands to eliminate? He looked at his dead son, filled with anger. The other two people shot at him. Originally, the body of a man in a suit was cleverly resolved, and then instantly killed these three people. Kato was dumbfounded with fear. The King Kong people are preparing to launch an attack on him. Suddenly Ziorara rushed out, knocked the Scallion Star man out. Originally, this type black suit is a type of combat clothing. Wearing it can enhance physical abilities, but despite this, the Onion Star people were not easily defeated. He threw the two of them onto the wall. Meanwhile, Zwanai also arrived at the scene, but the timid one only dares to hide aside. The Onion Star man is gradually approaching. He's in this critical moment. Several chains suddenly flew out. Tie the Onion Star man tightly. It turns out that Naishijo has been lurking nearby. Naishijo calmly solved the Onion Star people. The mission has finally come to an end. The crowd was teleported back to their original room, and a severely injured uncle returned intact. Everyone questioned Naishijo to find out what happened, and Saijo's answer was shocking. He stated that the origin of Black Ball is unknown, but he can resurrect those who have already died, and provide weapons. Let people eliminate aliens. After completing the task, you will receive points, and it will restore all of its injuries. But if you sacrifice in battle, will really die. Just then, the black ball suddenly emitted a dazzling white light. After Zwanai wakes up, discovering that he had actually returned home, he thought it was just a nightmare. But the next night, he was teleported back to the room where the black ball was located again. But apart from the people who survived before, this time there were also 3 star-shaped black balls. No nonsense. Immediately released a new task. This mission is to kill the Tanaka people, an extraterrestrial creature that loves radio, Kino and Kato. Hurry up and put the Starman on his combat clothes, and then start sending equipment. But this time the black ball suddenly teleported. Caught off guard, everyone hurriedly teleports away, but an old man and his grandson have not yet put on their war clothes. was mercilessly transported to another place. They appeared in a parking lot. The old lady and grandson dispersed. Grandma is not around. Sun Tzu is very scared. Start running around. Accidentally knocked out the Tanaka man's radio. The Tanaka people instantly became furious. He opened his mouth, emit a strong laser, instantly took away the lives of the old lady and grandson. At this moment, Zwana has just been teleported to the parking lot. He witnessed with his own eyes the terrifying aspects of the Tanaka people. I also saw the strangeness of this alien. The Tanaka people look more like an occasional life suspension for individuals, also trying to raise your hand and shoot. But what's awkward is, his hand hasn't been teleported yet, and the Tanaka people are now accumulating strength. Strong laser flickering in his mouth. Just after Zwana's gun was about to arrive, the Tanaka people emitted the laser one step ahead of schedule. Instantly strike Zwana away. Fortunately, Yanni saved Zwana the life. He suffered most of the harm for him. But at this moment, the Tanaka people launched another laser attack. But this time his goal is no longer Zwana, but rather a thin strip that stealthily steals by the side. Lao Liu slightly was very surprised. His own invisibility was useless in front of him. Immediately after, the Tanaka people flew up fiercely, crashed the thin strip into the underground parking lot. He launched a stormy attack on the thin strip. Fist to meet. This is an unidentified liquid that started to seep out of the thin combat clothes. He realized that this means that the battle suit has lost its effectiveness, so he cried out in fear for help. After Kato heard it, hurry up and jumped down, with the reinforcement of battle clothes, successfully squeezed the Tanaka people out of consciousness. Zwana took the opportunity to check on Nishijo's injuries. Kazushio's injuries too severe, only one last breath left. He struggled to tell Zwana, let him accumulate 100 points to revive himself. Then he closed his eyes. Just when everyone thought the battle was over, the Tanaka people suddenly woke up, becoming even more violent. They can only rely on the protection of battle clothes to barely resist it. This time Zwana seems to have become the main target of the Tanaka Star people's attack. Suffer from his crazy attack. But at this moment, Zwana unexpectedly activated the combat mode of the battle suit. I saw a blue light shining all over my body, with a casual wave. Just blast the Tanaka people to the ceiling. But the Tanaka people did not fall. He tightly hugged Zwana, prepare to emit laser. But this time Zwana grabbed the trigger first. Tremendous crash. The Tanaka people were bombed to the point where there was no residue left. After completing the task, Kato and others began the transmission, and Zwana was seriously injured, unable to take action. Even worse, the explosion triggered a fire in the parking lot. The entire parking lot has become a sea of fire. Zwana can only wait helplessly for death, and in the room of Black Ball, Kato and others waited anxiously. Fortunately, at the end of the countdown, Zwana was teleported back unharmed. Sure enough, as long as there's still one breath left, even in the most severe injury, it can recover. This difficult battle has finally come to an end. Zwana gained 7 points by eliminating the Tanaka Star Man. At this point, Zwana recalled the words of the thin strip. He asked what reward would be given if the black ball accumulated 100 points. Here, several lines of text are displayed on the black ball screen. Once again shocked everyone. After accumulating 100 points, optional eliminators, returning to a normal life, or after resurrecting a deceased person. Zwana wakes up from home again. What's different is that this time he was wearing a black combat suit. Looking at oneself in the mirror, a bold idea suddenly came to mind. How magical is this battle suit? Zwana started a test. He picked up the frying pan, easily bent him, then he jumped down the steps, but landed safely across the building. This battle suit not only strengthened his strength and stamina, and it also has amazing defense capabilities. Zwana's confidence explodes. Believe that you can easily complete the next task. Everyone was teleported to Black Ball's room again. This time, there are new players joining the mission released by Black Ball, requiring them to defeat the huge Hot Star Man Zwana, and pick up their weapons. Decide to face the challenge alone. Task start. They were transported outside a museum. I just walked to the door. The statue guarding the door suddenly came to life, facing the attack of the gatekeeper statue. A novice girl panicked and fled into the museum. Zwana orders others to leave. He wants to complete the task alone, although Kato is unwilling to leave. But Zwana still relies on his own strength. Successfully eliminated the Hot Star Man. However, after the countdown in the room ended, they were not teleported back. Countdown restarted. At this point, the heavily injured novice girl escaped from the museum. Many talents have discovered that there are still enemies inside the museum. Zwana led Kato and Zira carefully into the museum. Unexpectedly, at this moment, Zwana was suddenly attacked by the thousand-handed Star Man. The weapon was hit flying. Seriously injured, Kato stepped forward at this moment, desperate to save. Zwana and Kainchuzig would engage in a fierce battle. Critical moment. Zira appeared and blocked his fatal blow for Kato. Ziahu's death completely made Kato lose his sanity. He picked up the samurai sword. Angry assault on the thousand-hand Star Man. However, there is a huge disparity in their strength. Kato soon couldn't resist. Knocked to the ground. At this critical moment, Zwana has once again activated the power of the battle suit. However, he did not choose to fight head-on this time, but rather decided to successfully seize the weapon. After receiving the weapon, Zwanai shoots at the thousand-handed star man, but he blocked it with his long sword. But in the next second, the sword will shatter directly. A small bronze statue suddenly expands upon landing. So recently, I was also an alien. The bronze statue continues to grow in size, even broke through the museum. Zwanai is in crisis, accidentally losing one's own weapon. But Kato, who was seriously injured, stepped forward again, strived to throw the weapon to Zwanai, when launching the final strike in Zwanai, but it was devoured by a bronze statue. Just as everyone was in despair, Zwanai was shooting together inside the bronze statue. Finally, we successfully defeated him, completely ends the battle. Subsequently, Zwanai is teleported back to the room where Black Ball is located, but Kato was nowhere to be found. So he sacrificed like Ziora. Zwanai felt deeply guilty, because my own petty enemy killed 2 important companions. However, he did not give up, because he knows, as long as you accumulate 100 points after completing the task, they can be resurrected again. The following days, he is constantly being teleported to the room of Black Ball, strive to revive friends,